We've been breaking our backs so the boss could live high on the hog. Man, that ain't right. But you do what you gotta do just to pay that stack of bills off. Well, when Friday rolls around, we're gonna blow this town. When it hits 5 o'clock, grab all the girls who wanna have fun, fill the cooler full of cold ones. Yeah, all you see of us is tail lights and dust, fading red down a dirt road in a pickup truck, a runaway train of chrome and rust. It's backwoods or bust, tail lights and dust. It's gonna be a shindig and shine sipping, pig picking, hot summer night. Fire blazing, cane raising, maybe even some love making, howling out that full moonlight. Gonna crank some Hank up to 10, hang out with all my rowdy friends, get a feeling alright. Watching that clock counting the minutes, pretty soon, baby, we're gonna be living it, talking about the good life.
iTunes, buy his music, whatever the case may be. But what we have the privilege right here on American Veterans Radio, WAVR 97.0, is to have Lance on the phone with us right now. Welcome to American Veterans Radio, Lance Stinson.
Well, it's an honor being here. Thank y'all so much for having me.
I tell you what, I want you, if you would share a story about Colt Ford you was telling me off air.
Oh, Colt is one of my favorite artists that's out there, and you know, back in the day, it's been about 7 years ago, actually, when I was first trying to break my music out to a bigger, you know, venues and stuff. He kind of took me under his wing and gave me a lot of opening dates with him, and learned a lot from him, and just a super nice, genuine guy. And I'll always be grateful for all the stuff he did for me. That's for sure.
I tell you what, besides Colt, you've also toured with Brantley Gilbert, Luke Bryan, Travis Tritt. Yes. Isn't that something?
A bunch of those guys. Yeah, man, I've learned a lot, and a lot of that come on because of Colt Ford. I was doing the shows with Colt, and all the other guys, you know, that come along, you know, are all part of the shows, some of the shows that we were doing together with Colt, and they were like, hey, man, you want to come out and open for us some? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And so it all kind of, you know, just kind of steamrolled after, you know, the shows we did with Colt, man, and like I said, I owe everything so far that, you know, at that time that has built my career, you know, at the time for him to give me the opportunity to do it, you know, when nobody else would.
We talk about giving you an opportunity. You're just coming off your first East Coast tour, is that correct?
Yes, we did, and it was an actual fantastic trip, man, and we got to play up in Massachusetts. We did 5 shows up there, and man, I'm telling you, everybody up there was super, super nice, and all the shows that we had, man, and people were just elbow to elbow in there, man, and enjoyed the music, and I was a little bit nervous because, you know, I've never played that far up north, and I mean, I knew they were country music fans. They were called off my Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, but, you know, I was a little nervous. I'm like, you know, we got these venues we're going to, and I'm like, I hope that there's some people there, and man, I'm telling you, the people showed up. And we were super excited about that. You know, we got to the venue there in Boston the first night, and I was a little bit nervous, you know, because it's pretty legendary, Loretta's Last Call. And you know, right before I went on stage, I stuck my head in, and the place was packed. You could put another person in there. And so, man, and it was super exciting, and we look forward to doing it again.
I just don't think he has something. No, that's the only reason for the hesitation. I thought she was going to say something.
Oh, no. I was looking at your next spot on your tour was Kentucky and Ohio in September. That's pretty close. In September, that's pretty
we're doing that. We're doing the Bristol Motor Speedway coming up in August, too, the 20th. We're looking forward to that. It's been our second time doing that. They invited us back this year from last year. And, man, I'm telling you, everything's been really great, you know, and it's been, you know, all the fans showing up and supporting. It's been the biggest thing. That's been the biggest help. Without those guys, you know, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And we'll always be grateful for that.
You know, in social media and this type of thing isn't just fantastic.
Man, I wish it was out about 10 years ago. It made it a lot easier. Well, it gives you an opportunity to actually be a little more, one-on-one with your people. I call them friends. I don't really call them fans, friends. And, that love your music that would have never heard your music if it wasn't for Twitter or Facebook, it's one of those tools, man. I don't know how we did it all these years without it.
I tell you what, we wouldn't be where we were without social media and everybody around the world literally sharing and, spreading the word. So it's just fantastic.
It is a fantastic thing. And I meet a lot of other bands and stuff on the roads, and they're not taking advantage of it. I hate to say use that word, taking advantage, but, using that tool. Sure. And I'm like, guys, y'all got to get on, because they're all hitting me like, man, how you doing this and doing that? I said, man, Twitter, Facebook, Absolutely. Instagram, Reverb Nation, you've got to be on those sites, because that's how people hear your music, you know what I mean? Unless you're going to get out in a van and travel all over the United States handing out your CDs. I mean, how else are you going to be able to connect with them,
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of great support behind you, because I know how complicated it is to keep up those things right here at American Veterans Radio. So you've got some great people.
It is a lot of work, and if I didn't have the team to have, I don't know how in the world we'd ever get it done. To be honest with you, I have a great bunch of guys and girls that work for us, and then it's a group effort. And like everybody says, with Love Your Song, I always say it's our song, because it's all a group thing. I couldn't be as successful as I am without their help, pull the cars. Like my dad always said, if you see a turtle on top of a pole, you didn't get there by yourself. Somebody put him there.
That's exactly right. There's a visual for everybody, right? So
that's right.
I guess we're talking about poos today.
I'm looking at some of the notes. That you grew up listening to Keith Whitley, Waylon Jennings, George Jones. But then you also you're an '80s rocker. You like Def Leppard and Poison, by the way, which is one of Vicki Lynn's favorite bands.
Well, I love all the hair bands, guys, but country's always been my thing. Keith Whitley was one of my biggest influences, him and Garth Brooks, I guess, back in the day. And but I listen to all the classic stuff. My dad riding in his old truck, with an 8-track player. I'm sure y'all have ever heard of an 8-track player.
Yeah, but believe me, I'm older than that.
Yeah, then I got 4 brothers, but the 2 oldest ones are 14 years older than me, and we used to have to ride to school with them, so it was all, the Poison, Bon Jovi, Rat, Def Leppard, Metallica, all the rock stuff was them, so I kind of got a little bit of mix from both sides when I was growing up as a kid.
Well, I'll go to that because you say, these are your words, that you would call your music, because of all those influences, kick in the teeth country. What a description.
Well, it was one of those things somebody had hit me. I was not prepared for an interview, and they're like, how would you describe your music? Because it's not 100% traditional, but it's not rock. I guess, I said, well, it's just kind of like kicking in the teeth country, listen, I mean, it's just one of those kind of mixes with a little bit of the 80s rock, and it's got the traditional country mixed to it, and we kind of come up with that sound, so it was just one of those things that come out real quick, and that's kind of stuck with us.
Well, you do this for a living, so I've got a question for you. I know there's been a lot of, with the newer country music, and I say probably in the last 10 years or so, being more described as what we used to call Southern rock. How do you think that tag works with that?
I think it works fine. I mean, I think it's exactly, it's dead on, because a lot of these guys in music now, country music, like Jason Aldean and everybody, they listen to all the classic rock, coming up and all the, the Southern rock stuff, and it kind of influenced them in their style of music. So that's what they hear when they're writing music or whatever. They're listening to, they're back to the Waylon and all the Outlaw guys, and and then they listen to all the stuff, Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker, and all that stuff back home where we're at is huge. So everybody listens to that, and it's kind of got a mix of, when you're saying, okay, let's write a song. So what you're hearing in your head is, you're saying, here's my influences. So here, let's write a song that, and it mixes together. It's kind of a mashup is what we call it.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I see on here that you also do, while you're traveling around in your busy life, my gosh, you do private bookings as well?
I do what now?
Private bookings, social events?
Oh, man, I love those kind of gigs, because, it's a little more intimate. It's not really the big production and stuff like that, which is awesome, too, and that's always a lot of fun. But, we're doing a show coming up, and it's for a lady, actually, that they had gotten married recently, and then she was one of the first people to actually give us a gig back when we were, 15 years old as kids at her little, her bar and grill kind of thing. It's more of a restaurant. And she come up to me at one of my shows one day, and I'm like, hey, she's like, I want you to come play for this. And I said, honey, no problem, because if you hadn't gave us a chance when we were kids, we probably would have never come out and played. So I kind of owe it to you a little bit, and so it was one of those deals. But we do them, if you want us to come play in your backyard, I'll bring my guitar and come play.
Oh my gosh.
We just be happy at our house, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. We can line it up and let's do it.
American Veterans Radio events.
Yeah, we could do that.
I would love to do it. I'm a big Wounded Warrior Project man. I've done a lot of those shows and anything with the Warriors, anything, the past, present, future. I had an uncle that I'm actually named after that was killed in the Korean War, so it's kind of near and dear to me there. I really pull close to those kind of things and any kind of children's charity too. I'm big into helping on those things.
Well, we'll try to make it Indiana when it's warmer.
Hey, it's fine. We can put jackets on.
Well, you may need coats and earmuffs and
jackets and long johns. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Now you recently were part of the CMA Fan Fest. How was that? Was that your first one, or?
It was my first time doing that, and I was recently I was become a member of the CMAs, and it was one of those things, man, that I've always wanted to do, and we just never really got invited to do it. It's one of those kind of things. There's so many guys that are trying to give back to their fans that it's kind of hard to get a slot to play up there, and we were invited actually for they've got two different slots to play, and it's just an awesome thing, man. If nobody's ever been to, if you're a country music fan and you want an opportunity to be able to have a chance to meet and see everybody that you love, that's the place to be. But don't plan to do it in one day. You need to at least be there 3 days to get it done. But it's a wonderful thing, and it's just a way of giving back to our fans and all the stuff for supporting us all through all the years and keeping us on the road.
Yeah, we were actually were scheduled to go down there, and then something came up because we all work full-time jobs and we couldn't do it. So we wanted to go see our first one, to be honest. We've been to Nashville several times, but never went down to the CMA Fan Fest. And we really
CMA Fest, man, it is just the whole town is just country music, and you can walk up for free and listen to whoever you want. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things. If you haven't experienced, you need to experience it. That's for sure.
Well, I just thought it was exciting being in Nashville and just being able to walk in the bars and hear everybody play is pretty awesome. It
is a neat town, isn't it? It is a very neat town.
Do you ever, when you're down in Nashville, do you ever just go out and just set up in one of the places there, the venues?
Well, lots of times when we were in town and we had a little time, in between, writing songs or recording in the studio up there. I know a lot of guys that play downtown and midtown and stuff, and we'll just go and bombard their show and get up on stage with them and pick up to you. That's what we always love to do, just something random and not planned or anything. That's what we love to do.
Now, talk about planned, though, however. You got a brand new album coming out this month, don't you?
We got one. We're going to finish up, put some new music out, and at the 18th of August is what the plan is, to put the first new single out. And we're really excited about that, man. And I know our fans have been hounding and biting their nails off at the bits for some new music, and we've got some new stuff out that I'm super excited about. And we recorded in Nashville with Dave McAvee. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dave, but he's a drummer for Toby Keith.
Yes.
And I met Dave a few years back, and I've always wanted to work with him again. And this time the opportunity come up, and we put some really great music together, and I think people are really going to enjoy it.
How can people go out and find your music, Lance?
Well, there's several different ways you can do it. You can do it on Reverb Nation. You can go to LanceStinson.net. You can go on iTunes and get it. And you just Google it. I promise you it'll pull up. You can find anything on Google.
Yeah, anything that's kind of the ultimate answer there.
So where?
It might find some stuff you don't want to see.
Yes.
So where can they find you coming up playing next?
Well, our next show is going to be in Bristol Motor Speedway. We got 2 shows there we're playing. And, man, I'm telling you, that was super exciting during race week there. And, they let us play one show last year. And, man, it was so much fun. It's just a great combination of country music and NASCAR fans. I mean, I just don't know if it could get any better than that, And, it was super fun. There's so many people there, and we've met a ton of nice people there. And, this year they called and wanted us back and said, hey, we want you to do 2 shows this year. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll be there again, That's where we're going to be at, for sure.
So where do they go out and get tickets at if they want to? Just Ticketmaster?
You can go to BristolMotorspeedway.com, and you can get, but actually the concerts are free. They don't cost a dime. But if you have tickets for the race, you can get in, and all the concerts are free. There's lots of people playing this year up there.
You know, we would like to have you back. We actually do an artist spotlight for a whole week. We'd like to schedule you back in October and spend a whole week with you.
Oh, I would love to do that. I can send you some merch and stuff, and you can give it away to the listeners. Man, it'd be awesome. We'll definitely put that together and do it.
All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please go out and check out Lance Stinson. What a phenomenal talent. As you can tell by his own words, he's very humble, just a nice guy. So go out and buy this nice, humble guy's music, would you? Because it's really good.
So any last
We would
words
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good.
Any last words you want to say out to everybody
Words of wisdom
around the world?
And I would love to say, and like I said earlier, I did a lot of stuff for the Wounded Warrior Project and stuff like that. And not just them, just any, veterans associations and stuff that, back home, I love to do those kind of things. And I just want to say thanks for all the men and women that have fought and died and are still fighting for our freedom overseas and here at home and abroad. And God bless America and God bless everybody else.
Well, Lance, one thing we want to say here at American Veterans Radio, if there's anything that we can do or help sponsor you or put your music out there, please just let us know. We'd love to be a part of any of those Wounded Warrior things that you're doing. I will
definitely let you know. And anything you need from me for any of the veterans, whether new, old, young, it doesn't matter. You let me know. We'll send them something.
We appreciate it, Lance.